I'm going to read some tributes to Her Majesty the Queen from political leaders across the country, preceded with the initial announcements from the Buckingham Palace, followed by a poem. Buckingham Palace. Following further evaluation this morning, the Queen's doctors are concerned for Her Majesty's health and have recommended she remain under medical supervision. The Queen remains comfortable and at Balmoral. The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and the Queen Consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow. The Prime Minister. We're all devastated by the news we've just heard from Balmoral. The death of Her Majesty the Queen is a huge shock to the nation and to the world. Queen Elizabeth II was the rock on which modern Britain was built. Our country has grown and flourished under her reign. Britain is the great country it is today because of her. She ascended the throne just after the Second World War. She championed the development of the Commonwealth from a small group of 7 countries to a family of 56 nations spanning every continent of the world. We're now a modern, thriving, dynamic nation. Through thick and thin, Queen Elizabeth II provided us with the stability and the strength that we needed. She was the very spirit of Great Britain, and that spirit will endure. She has been our longest ever reigning monarch. It's an extraordinary achievement to have presided with such dignity and grace for 70 years. Her life of service stretched beyond most of our living memories. In return, she was loved and admired by the people in the United Kingdom and all around the world. She has been a personal inspiration to me and to many Britons. Her devotion to duty is an example to us all. Earlier this week in 1996, she remained determined to carry out her duties as she appointed me as her 15th Prime Minister. Throughout her life, she has visited more than 100 countries and she has touched the lives of millions around the world. In the difficult days ahead, we'll come together with our friends across the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth and the world to celebrate her extraordinary lifetime of service. It is a day of great loss, but Queen Elizabeth II leaves a great legacy. Today the crown passes, as it has done for more than 1,000 years, to our new monarch, our new head of state, His Majesty King Charles III. The King's family, they mourn the loss of his mother. And as we mourn, we must come together as a people to support him, to help him bear the awesome responsibility that he now carries for us all. We offer him our loyalty and devotion, just as his mother devoted so much to so many for so long. And with the passing of the Second Elizabethan age, we usher in a new era in the magnificent history of our great country, exactly as Her Majesty would have wished, by saying the words, "God save the King." Leader of the Opposition. Today our country, our people, this House, are united in mourning. Queen Elizabeth II was this great country's greatest monarch, and for the vast majority of us, it feels impossible to imagine a Britain without her. All our thoughts are with her beloved family, our royal family, at this moment of profound grieve. This is a deep and private loss for them. Yet it is one we all share, because Queen Elizabeth created a special personal relationship with us all. That relationship was built on the attributes that defined her reign: her total commitment to service and duty, her deep devotion to the country, the Commonwealth, and the people she loved. In return for that, we loved her, and it's because of that great shared love that we grieve today. For the 70 glorious years of her reign, our Queen was at the heart of this nation's life. She did not simply reign over us, she lived alongside us. She shared in our hopes and our fears, our joy and our pain, our good times and our bad. Our Queen played a crucial role as the thread between the history we cherish and the present we own. A reminder that our generational battle against the evil of fascism, or the emergence of a new Britain out of the rubble of the Second World War, do not belong only to the past, but are the inheritance of each and every one of us. A reminder that the creativity, the hard work, the enterprise that has always defined this nation is as abundant now as it ever was. A reminder that the prospect of a better future still burns brightly. Never was this link more important than when our country was plunged into lockdown at the start of the pandemic. A simple message that we would see our family again, that we would see friends again, that we would be together again, gave people strength and courage when they needed it most. But it wasn't simply the message that allowed a shaken nation to draw upon those reserves. It was the fact that she was the messenger. COVID closed the front doors of every home in the country and made all our lives smaller and more remote. But she was able to reach beyond that to reassure us and steel us. At the time we were almost alone, at the time we'd been driven apart, she held the nation close in a way no one else could have done. For that we say thank you. On the occasion of the Queen's Silver Jubilee in 1977, Philip Larkin wrote of her reign: "In times when nothing stood, but worsened or grew strange, there was one constant good: she did not change." It feels like we're once again in the moment in our history where, as Larkin put it, things are growing strange. When everything is spinning, a nation requires a still point. When times are difficult, it requires comfort. And when direction is hard to find, it requires leadership. The loss of our Queen robs this country of its stillest point, its greatest comfort, at precisely the time we need those things most. But our Queen's commitment to us, her life of public service, was underpinned by the one crucial understanding: that the country she came to symbolise is bigger than any one individual or any one institution. It is the sum total of all our history and all our endeavours, and it will endure. The late Queen would want us to redouble our efforts, to turn our collar up and face the storm, to carry on. Most of all, should want us to remember that it is these moments that we must all pull together. This house is a place where ideas and ideals are debated. Of course, that leads to passionate disagreement. Of course, temperatures can run high. But we all do it in pursuit of something greater. We do it because we believe we can make this great country and its people greater still. In this moment of uncertainty, where our country feels caught between a past it cannot relieve and a future yet to be revealed, we must always remember one of the great lessons of our Queen's reign. That we are always better when we rise above the petty, the trivial, the day-to-day, to focus on the things that really matter, the things that unite us, rather than those which divide us. Our Elizabethan age may now be over, but her legacy will live on forever. And as the children of that era, it falls upon us to take that legacy forward, to show the same love of country, love of one another as she did, to show empathy and compassion as she did, and to get Britain through this dark night and bring it into the dawn as she did. We join together today not just to say goodbye to our Queen or to share in our mourning, but to say something else important. God save the King. Because as one era ends, so another begins. King Charles III has been a devoted servant of this country his entire life. He has been a powerful voice for fairness and understood the importance of the environment long before many others. As he ascends to his new role with the Queen Consort by his side, the whole house, indeed the whole country, we join today to wish him a long, happy and successful reign. The emotions we see across our nation today are echoed across the Commonwealth to which our Queen was so committed, and the Church to which our Queen was so devoted, and in the armed forces which she led and her family served. Around the world, people will be united in mourning for her passing and united in celebrating her life. We've already seen beautiful tributes flown from across the world. It would be impossible to capture them all here, but each one is a reminder of the esteem in which she was held, of what she achieved on behalf of her country, the shared values we treasure. The reason our loss feels so profound is not just because she stood at the head of our country for 70 years, but because, in spirit, she stood amongst us. As we move forward, as we forge a new path, as we build towards a better future, she'll always be with us. For all she gave us, and for all she'll continue to give us, we say thank you. May our Queen rest in peace. God save the King. A poem by Joanne Boyle. Philip came to me today and said it was time to go. I looked at him and smiled as I whispered that I know. I then turned and looked behind me and seen I was asleep. All my family were around me, and I could hear them weep. I gently touched each shoulder, with Philip by my side. Then I turned away and walked with my angel guide. Philip held my hand as he led the way to a world where kings and queens are monarchs every day. I was given a crown to wear, or a halo known by some. The difference is up here they're worn by everyone. I felt a sense of peace. My reign has seen its end. 70 years I'd served my country as the people's friend. Thank you for the years, for all your time and love. Now I'm one of two again, in our palace up above.